Hello. Today I'm going to show you how to share a directory on your host operating system with a virtual machine. That can be very beneficial. For example, if you want to pass files back and forth between the host operating system and the virtual machine. To do that, I'm going to show you how to do it with Virt-Manager, which is the graphical user interface for the virtual machine technology that is built into the Linux kernel. There's a website here that gives some basic information for setting this up, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. This website is libvirt.org/kbase/virtio fs.html. So my host operating system is KDE Neon, and the virtual machine that we're going to use today is LMDE. So let's get started. Now first we're going to open LMDE without starting it. So let's hit open. Then we're going to view details. Then we're going to click on XML. And let me move this to the side so we can see the web page here. Okay, the first thing we need to do is copy these 4 lines of code. These 4 lines of code must be under the main domain header, but not in between any other open and close tags. So what we'll do right here is we'll put it after this closing tag for metadata. Okay, and no changes are needed to that code. We just leave that code as is. Now the next code we need to copy are these 5 lines here. Now those have to go under devices and before the device closing tag, which is all at the bottom. So let's put it here. Now there are changes that we have to make here. The source directory is the path of the folder that we want to share. Now for this example, I'm going to go ahead and create a folder in my home folder in my home directory, we'll say. So here's my home directory. I'm going to create a new folder and I will call it share. Okay, so let's put the path to that folder right here. There's the path. Now let's, in order for the user of the virtual machine to be able to access that, we have to assign permissions. So what I'm going to do down here in the terminal on the bottom is chmod 777 share. So basically that is changing the permissions of that share folder so that other people can use it. So let's close that down. Now in the example from the website, they use the term mount tag. That parameter there, or that name there, represents that shared directory. So when you actually are in the virtual machine, when you go to mount that, you would use that mount tag. But you don't have to use mount tag. You can name it anything you want. You can name it my dog, grandma. Right here, I will name this something else. I will name this SharePoint. And because I'm using that name SharePoint, when I am in the virtual machine, instead of using the name mount tag, I'll put the name SharePoint when I actually go to mount. So, but those are the only changes that we make here. Again, the only change you have to make is the source directory line right there, so you have the path to the folder that's being shared, and that's it. We'll apply that. Now let's view our console and let's launch our virtual machine. Okay, Now we're in the virtual machine. Let me maximize this. Okay, so we need to create a directory in the VM where we're going to mount the shared folder to. So here we'll go to our file system. We will go to MNT, and let's open this as root. Or if you have open as admin installed, you can use that as well. I have a video for open as root and a video for open as admin. If you want to check out those videos. If I remember, I'll put a link to them below. So we've opened that directory as root, and we'll go ahead and create a new folder, and we'll call it share. Okay, so we have that share folder. Now, to be able to give user permissions inside the virtual machine to access that folder, let's assign permissions there. So, but since that is in the mount directory, which is owned by root, we actually have to use the sudo command. Sudo chmod 777 mnt share. Oh, I didn't get my password right. Okay. So now, actually, let me move this over here. Actually, I should have left that open. Put this here. Now I want to actually... Okay, let's... There we go. That's what I want to do. So now the next thing to do is to mount the directory in the home directory of my the host operating system at that location in the MNT directory. So there's the command, but we actually have to run this as sudo mount -t virt-iofs. Now if you remember, I changed that from mount tag to SharePoint. And then the path we're mounting that to is mnt share. Okay, it's mounted. So now I can close that down. Now let me open up. This is in the host operating system. This is the shared file. Let's make sure that this is working. Let's close that down. So we're going to create a test file in here. Create new text file. We'll just leave it called text file. And let's just put test. Okay. Now let's, where's that? There it is. We're in the virtual machine, and there's that file. Now, I don't always like having to go into the MNT directory to access those shared files. So let's do this. Let's create a symbolic link to that from our home directory. So here we have the home directory. So let's do this. ln-s mnt share. That is that's where the shared folder is mounted, and we're going to make a symbolic link to that in our home folder. Okay, there we go. So from our home folder in the virtual machine, there's that file. And it's working. Now I can actually, right here, I can go in here and let's modify this. 10 test 2. Let's save that. Close that. Close that. Okay, let's get out of here. Now we open the, now this is back in the host operating system here. Test 2. Okay, now there's one other thing that we may want to do. As it is right now, every time we run our virtual machine, we would have to re-enter that command. Well, that can be kind of a pain. So let's do this. Let's create a script file to automatically run that command every time the virtual machine starts. So to do that, let's open up Files. Okay. And what I'm going to do, we'll go to the root there, the root system. We're going to go to network. Where's network? Oh, it's in Etsy. Okay, so from the root file system, we go to Etsy, and we're going to go to network. Then we're going to open up this file ifup.d, and the reason we're going to put the script file in there is every time the network gets established, whatever script files are in this folder, they get executed. And we want those to be executed after the network is up, because it's a virtual network, and it's really the network for the virtual machine is a virtual network to the host operating system. And that has to be established up and running before it can actually mount that drive. And so if we just try to run the script as soon as the virtual machine starts, it may not work if that script starts to execute before the virtual network is up. So that's why we're putting it in this folder here. And again, because this is owned by root, we need to open as root. Okay, so we're going to create a new script file in here. Create a new document, empty document. I'll just call it mount shared directory. That's so I know what it's doing. We need to go to properties, permissions, allow executing file as program. Close. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our script code in there. Okay. Because it's a script file, we need to put our script text. So we go hashtag exclamation mark /bin /sh. That identifies that this is a script file. The first thing we're going to do is the first command is a sleep command. You might say, well, why do you need a sleep command? Because this isn't being executed until the network is up. Well, theoretically, that is the case, but sometimes that script starts to execute before the network is fully up. And so I put sleep 5. I'm probably overkill. You could I'll try. We'd probably get away with sleep 3. But we just need to make sure that that virtual network is completely connected before the script code executes. Now the command that needs to be run in the script code is the exact command that we use to mount the shared directory. So we can just copy it from there. Now, I forgot I don't have my shortcuts defined in the virtual machine. Paste. Okay, so there's the script code. It's very simple. Just the line that identifies that it's a script code. Sleep, so we make sure that that virtual network is up. before this command runs, and then it exits. Very simple. So let's save that. Let's reboot the virtual machine and see if it all works. There's a little bit of a delay there because of that sleep command I added. Okay. This did that to me once before. So let's do this. Virtual machine, shutdown, force reset. It did do that to me once before, but on the second try, it came up. There we go. Okay, so we're in our virtual machine. Let's go to Files, and our text file is still there. And let's test to make sure it's still working. Test 3. Save that. Let's get this out of the way. Should minimize that. Okay, now this is my home directory on the host operating system. There's the test 3 we just typed. So it's working. So it worked on reboot. It was a little strange why we had to reset the virtual machine. Before you go, I'm going to try one more time and see if try rebooting again. Let's do this. Let's do it from here. Open. Run. There we go. Okay, it's working. Let's go back to our directory there. And there's our file. Okay, I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful to you. Being able to share directories between the host operating system and the virtual machine, like I said, can be very handy at times. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button and have a wonderful day.